Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back again to DAC 2017. We're going to be taking a look at more Group A action, and believe it or not, we're going to be taking a look at a game between the top two groups in Group A. Team Empire versus OG. I'm Lyrical, joined as well by Cap. Cap, how you doing?
I'm just sitting here with a grin on my face because I can't believe we're talking about Empire being a top 2 team in their group, but they are.
Yeah.
They really are. It's just because of the tie system that Empire got themselves a win in day number 1. That's huge. And now, honestly, they just need to, I think they just need to break even against every team. You know, if they just kind of tie against everyone else, then they'll be happy. And the first big step would obviously be tying against OG, who are currently well, actually, I believe they're undefeated.
They are. I think that they've played 2 games, if I'm not mistaken, or two.
They played
best
two
of twos
yesterday, but did they play this morning at all?
I think this is their first one. So
yeah, okay.
And then a little bit later on today, they're going to play another match. I think that it's against LFY.
Yeah, that's right. We're casting that one, aren't we?
Yeah.
So, those are the two. Initially going into this group, I would say those are the 2 of the lesser teams of this group.
LFY
and Empire. Yeah. So OG have already taken on bigger threats and 2-0'd them. Again, that is going into this tournament with a certain idea of the rankings of these teams. But obviously all that can get upset as I think Empire's definitely brushed up on some things. I was impressed by, Chappie was playing more active. I like the fact that, I had this, I did my studies and I had these ideas about, Team Empire and what was wrong with them and what was right with them. And when I got here and I hear other casters, mentioning the same things. I don't think Chappie moves around enough as a safe lane carry right now for this kind of patch. And I think I heard Gods echoed that exact same thought in a cast of his. So... you did not ban Meepo against Team Empire.
That is interesting.
I'm sure OG, I'm sure they do their homework. They're hardworking, right? So I don't think this comes as a huge surprise to them.
I think that also it's a way to try in a real game test the strategies that they have against Meepo, because if they show you can't first phase Meepo against us, that's something that other teams are going to pay attention to. So maybe a little bit of a statement here from OG wanting to assert their dominance in Group A, but you talked about Chappie, his ability to move around the map. Meepo is certainly one of those heroes that's going to allow him to do that quite effectively. The other big player for them throughout these first couple of games in the group stages has been FN. I've been hearing a lot of casters talk about him being on a tear, and he's always been a very talented player. It's just kind of a question of if he can maintain that consistency, and at least day 1 they made it work.
I remember casting FN 2-3 years ago. That guy was probably on maybe he was on a Power Rangers roster at one point or something like that. I feel like I've seen that guy play for a very long time.
Him and Maposhka.
Yeah, Maposhka too. Yeah.
Yellow Submarine, I think, was what he was on before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of those sort of Tier 2 EU teams in CIS region, they have a lot of players that have been able to be developed over time and now are kind of hitting their stride.
Let's see. I'm going to look up FN's previous teams now because I'm kind of curious what he was. FN.
I mean, the other thing also, just real quickly while you're doing that, we have a Visage Axe first 2 picks from OG. They're doing what they want to do. Nobody else is taking Axe in the first phase. I think it was, again, just in response to this Meepo or the idea that it could come out. It's quite evident that that's something they would want to run for.
He was in Power Rangers in 2015 for a month and a half. Or no, longer than that. Sorry, it separates between arcade Power Rangers and Power Rangers. So he was there for a little while at least. And then before that, the first team that I remember, I don't recognize some of these other names, but New Team 123123. That is a name. I definitely remember sitting down at Join Dota and being like, New Team 123. Come on, they couldn't have come up with something. Come on, guys. What is that?
Yeah.
I'm actually going to check out that roster now because I want to see if
Not the most innovative in team names.
Yeah, because I remember that team was actually pretty well stacked. It had FN and it had Yoku, who was super. He got super good shortly after that, and was a big hit on Team Empire soon afterwards. Sidoi, Go Black, it was a Go Black team, and No Fear.
All those guys are incredibly talented.
Yeah, at one point in time, all of those players had serious relevance in the CIS region. So he's got the experience for sure.
Well, ET is now going to get taken. Another kind of interesting response to the Meepo, a hero that's going to build up all these stat items, has naturally high base magic resist as well. Natural Order is going to be quite effective against that.
Yeah, certainly, and you've also got percentage-based damage coming out from the Earth Splitter, which is going to be very effective versus the Meepo. I think Meepo's just not an agile enough hero to be able to quickly react to the stomp. That's, it's like he throws down the spear and he's going to start stomping. Everyone else can control the heroes to try and move away as quick as possible. You can't really move a Meepo like that just because the Meepos kind of like bounce into each other and block each other and stuff. So it's an interesting response so far. I think all of their heroes are actually quite adept at dealing with Meepo. Team Empire are probably looking at this and going, like, look, we got an opportunity to 1-2 Meepo. Most other teams aren't going to let us do this, and this is also versus OG. We need an edge. You can't just go into this and play normal. You need something special, and this is one of their, this is the secret weapon for Team Empire that's not so secret.
Yeah. Well, one thing that is, I'm not sure if it was Empire that I saw do this, but there was one team that ran a Meepo and a Silencer together, and what they ended up doing was they stuck Meepo in the mid lane for the first 2 levels. Silencer zoned him, and then Meepo went straight into the jungle, and Silencer became the solo mid by his own right. And I don't know if that's something that they could think about going for here, but it would be another way to add to some efficiency there for Team Empire. Do you think that's a possibility, or is it maybe too greedy?
Oh, no, absolutely. I think all Meepos it pretty much abandoned their lane at some point in time in favor of the better efficiency and safer farm that's found in the jungle, and that opens up a lane for a support. It's kind of similar to the way that, say, Safe Lane Lifestealers operate. You pick up a certain level, and you usually want to start jungling a little bit to open up a lane for a Warlock or something like that. So it's just like Alchemists, Storm Spirits, all these kind of heroes are going to eventually go back into the jungle simply because it's safer. You don't want to give the enemy team that opportunity to get an easy gank on you. OG now get more direct firepower. The Lina also giving you pure damage once you have that Aghanim Scepter, so something that is, again, going to ignore the Meepo's magic resistance, even if the Elder Titan isn't there. So I really like OG's lineup, and they're probably just going to get themselves some sort of pretty decent scaling core. Right now, they don't have a tower hitter. They don't have a big pushing hero. So they either get a fast hero that adds a lot of pushing power and they end the game pretty quickly, or they get more likely, I think, more of a late game style hero.
Okay. It's going to be an Ursa from Empire. In my eyes, this is the tried and true answer to Meepo, though, as you're mentioning. You have the single target burst damage from multiple damage types with Visage Birds and Lina, as well as the AoE control with Axe and Elder Titan. The thing I'm kind of curious about is this too overcommittal for the Meepo himself? Is the rest of Empire going to be able to pick up the slack if Meepo does get a little bit shut down, or is that just not the way this game is going to play out?
I think the way that they're going to have to play this out is I do like Ursa as a pickup here. They needed something that would secure their laning phase, put pressure on the Axe. You can't let this Axe get a too quick of a blink dagger. Otherwise, Meepo's going to have a hard time. You need to pressure the laning phase, and then you need to brawl as much as possible, right? Because OG, you don't have any long cooldowns in their whole entire lineup. Well, barring familiars, but that's a different scenario, right? But there's no real long cooldowns. They're all very active heroes starting at 15 minutes with no cooldown, so they're going to fight a lot, and you can't just avoid them. Meepo will do split pushing things, but you need to actually give him the space in the first 25 minutes to get to a certain point. So they just have to get super active heroes for Team Empire, and Ursa is probably one of the better of those heroes. The Silencer is going to look really lackluster as a pickup, though, because of the hyper-aggression that's coming out of OG. Silencer is not good at being able to deal with this kind of constant in-your-face action. And he's not the best brawler, right? Other supports would offer, disables or big nuking power. Silencer just has this big ultimate. And that's not going to be for every fight. So an off lane, this actually would have been one of the few Clockwork games.
Oh, good ban out then. They're taking it out, and I guess the other ones, there's like Darkseer. They're going to go for the Slardar. It seems like a good plan, and OG are going to take the Terrorblade as the last pick. You talked about low cooldowns. Metamorphosis is a bit of one, but I think it's also sort of offset by the fact that Lina, if we do see that Bloodstone build again, is going to have a low death timer on top of the low cooldowns. Probably longer cooldown Light Strike array than her actual death around that level 10 mark.
I think Terrorblade's like kind of the perfect hybrid. It gives you the pushing power that, I said there's two different branches, right? You either take the early game and you push and you end fast, or you have late game power. Terrorblade does both, right? He gives you pushing power. It's just like there are many carries that would take advantage of the space that the first 4 pickups from OG are going to grant you. Terrorblade just offers you multiple windows, right? He has multiple times where he's effective. For example, we've seen No Tail Terrorblade, really sick Terrorblade yesterday. I was really impressed by it. Hyperactive, right? He was actually a space creator himself. So if he wants to, he can play that style in this game, and OG could just play like high octane Dota, where they move around and constantly pressure and take towers and fight. Or he can actually take a more relaxed approach this game, let the others be the space creators, and he can be more of a hard carry, farming away in the jungle and stuff.
Yeah, so lots of options available depending upon how the game goes. Empire maybe a little bit hemmed in terms of only one style of play that they can take. As you know that Meepo is going to want to try and build that momentum. Ursa helping to secure Roshan, but now we're moving into the game. It is OG facing off against Team Empire. Empire would love to get away with even just one win here. And you saw the series that was right before this one, Vici J versus Faceless, and both of those teams have been trading off series. They've been getting a loss apiece. And it's a situation where if Empire can trade out here, they're almost assuredly going to be able to get into that top 2 slot. Just not many other people contesting for the number 2 spot in this group.
They have not played Meepo yet in this tournament. So this is the first opportunity they've gotten for that. It seems like every other team is 1-2 banded against them. So this is going to be the first time we'll see Empire switching up the roles between Chappie and FN. I think every single game that they played, FN has been the harder carry. Chappie's been playing Lifestealers. FN's been playing heroes like SF and stuff like that. Like, he's been the hard carry for the team. They even had the last time they played Ursa, Chappie was playing the Ursa because that's the space creator, and FN was playing the mid SF. So this is going to be a very different style than what we've seen from Empire so far in this tournament, but obviously it is a style that they played before DAC.
Yeah. Well, in the meantime, Monkey King will be bouncing around the trees over and over and over again. We've seen occasionally this get punished, but seems unlikely to happen this time since there isn't any great vision in the area. Although ET is kind of an interesting answer. Is going to spot out the Monkey King on the high ground there. So we're talking downstairs about like supports that are able to punish a Monkey King, and ET might be one of those.
Yeah, certainly. Anna's going to take a lot of damage. He's going to have to burn through one of the first of many tangos that he brought himself. That's interesting. I didn't think that Lina needed this much extra regen, but he bought himself tangos as well as healing salve, and he was given 2 extra shared tangos, so maybe this is just anticipation to Monkey King doing Monkey King things in the mid lane and being very harassive.
Yeah. And that way he can also sustain if he does have a little bit of trouble getting the bottle out or something else. It doesn't all end up looking terrible for him. In the meantime, up in the top lane, S4 and this aggro tri-lane are able to push FN back. He's not having a great time farming, and it does feel like maybe you are lacking a little bit right here, Empire, not having the traditional support, and particularly having that camp blocked out at the early stages. It will finally be open now, but still hard to pull against this lineup.
Slardar is not a hero that is very threatening in 1v1 cases, so this is great for OG, right? They know they can leave the 1v1 for the Terrorblade. He's fine. And then the rest of OG, they can do this play where we see this a lot. It was kind of innovated in 7.0 is that you you join the offlane with supports, usually like Coddle or Dazzle or even an aggro tri-lane, and you push out the wave. That's what S4 is doing right now is the Axe. He pushes out the wave and then the supports pull the hard camp, and you get efficiency out of your offlane and deny a lot of farm from the enemy's carry.
When you talk about there not also being a threat, you can see very much evidence of that. No-Tail sitting with so much armor, 12 at this early stage. They're really not able to pressure, and that allows them to continue these pulls consistently. So Arcane Curse gets thrown out onto a couple. Not really going to be too much damage, but they need to be a little bit worried about No-Tail as the dives could start coming under tower soon.
Yeah, I really do think they're... well, actually, they're kind of running out of firepower. Ghost Stick doesn't have any mana, so... maybe they're okay with leaving, but I wouldn't be surprised if they rotate a support back down to bottom lane. They just get S4, you know, a strong start where he gets close to his Tranquil Boots and he has like level 3. Level 3 is like one of the big pickups for an Axe because it means he has a big damage increase in counter Helix as well as having Berserker's Call or even Battle Hunger. I've seen it a couple times where you get it at level 2 just to help shove out the opposing support that tries to harass you away.
Well, in the meantime, Chappie, he's going to be able to finish off a little bit of extra CS in the jungle, but now you've got Empire in the area looking to apply some pressure. Not even range as of yet to catch on to Ana, but there's always the danger. You need to be careful about that. It did look like Meepo still saving a point. Could go back for a point to Earthbind if he wants, or just more into Geostrike.
Yeah, if an opportunity presented itself, right, if Ana was a little bit too far forward with the Monkey King hovering around, they could very easily kill Lina. But what is Monkey King? What you doing there?
Just showing off.
Down. Yeah, he just does Monkey King things. He pops down in the enemy's jungle, shows himself, but it doesn't matter because he could just jump onto trees whenever he wants.
Yeah, I mean, Fly's keeping an eye on him also. They realize where he's at, and that's the big thing. It does not look like they have any great way. They have some tangos, but unlikely to be able to kill off the Monkey King.
S4. I was about to say, I wonder if S4 is just going to go for a guess on one of those trees, but not yet. Jarex does come down to the bottom lane, help secure No-Tail's farm a bit more. The Visage Axe dual lane is fine enough. You don't want to tri-lane too much because you start cutting into the experience of the Visage. And Visage is a very level-dependent support that can accomplish a lot in the mid-game if you do have the farm to back it up.
Well, he's, in the meantime, rotating towards mid a second. I don't believe that Monkey King spotted him there, but he's just going to stick around for the moment while we have a couple of bounty runes getting taken away. Jarek's able to snag one over there with the early boots picked up for him. And well, Visage still sitting here. They're going to rotate in, trying to go now onto the Lina, but there's going to be a lot of damage coming out. Soul Assumption as well isn't quite going to be enough to find the kill onto Chappie. Solo, not dead as of yet, though. Just 23 HP, and it looks like with the second Meepo, they might even be able to run down Ana, throw in another Light Strike array, but there's the jump forward. The Monkey King coming in as well, has a Boundless Strike, turns and is able to hit it onto there, but now the last word comes back. They're able to draw first blood, killing off the Monkey King. Chappie barely left alive. That Fairy Fire.
Yeah, that was a sick Fairy Fire play. That was really well done by Chappie. You can see why teams are supposed to 1-2 ban this Meepo against them. Sick plays so far, good micro, and you just understood the nature of the hero and the extent at which he can just run into the enemy.
Yeah. Well, you can see S4 down here as well. It's taking a lot of damage from FN. The Bear Man is mad and trying to kill him off, but he guesses the wrong way or possibly just did not want to chase it too much further. Might have died with the Battle Hunger on him, but
I was about to say, if S4 actually just ran towards the shrine and activated, he might have actually been able to kill FN, but S4 does play a pretty dangerous game there, challenging the Ursa underneath the creep wave. And they are going to find the Monkey King.
Yeah, this is a long duration stun. They've got the call after the fact as well, so that should be enough for a kill. They take down the Monkey King, and they'll be happy about that.
Tranquil Boots and another 400 gold is there for S4. He's even got himself a nice little stack to work through, the shrine to activate shortly after. Everything looks pretty good for OG in this laning phase.
So 2-1, 6 minutes in. You can see that is still a little bit of a net worth lead into the favor of Empire. Just again, based off of how well this Meepo has done in the lane so far, 47-2, including the jungle creeps, as opposed to the 35-0 of the Lina. Just a little bit more efficiency coming out because he's able to have access to that jungle.
Yeah, I think Ursa and Meepo are pretty farmed, and their Slardar is a lot of CS as well. Of course, he got the early 1v1, so he's going to get some early treads, hopefully translate into a relatively fast Blink Dagger, though. That Blink Dagger timing is going to be really key, so I would actually like OG to start making a rotation down to bottom lane pretty soon here. I'm not sure how. Maybe Ana makes a TP rotation, or he goes for the 8-minute rune at bottom lane and then just slides into that bottom lane for a gank. But I would like them to shove the Slardar out a little bit more. Just because that timing that we were talking about earlier, where you have to create space for the Meepo, that's going to be most effectively found through Empire's Blink Dagger on Slardar.
Okay. Well, and I think that, you know, they haven't really been able to pressure that Ghost Stick Slardar yet, and it does feel like that, like you were saying, it's a pretty imperative that they do it. But I mean, does it cost them anything moving down here, or is it just like need to wait till you get the levels up on Ana and find a moment to actually go for the rotation?
It's just like a crime of opportunity, right? It's just like, you know, if you see the opportunity, you should head down there.
King R.
Dead.
Quick little dunk, and they'll be able to take that one down. Mid lane, he did have the ET move in, going to scout out to see if anything was going on over in Roche, maybe expecting that there could have been a play in that direction, but well, Meepo's just still farming away, building towards that first Dragonlance, and almost going to have it completed now. Yeah,
I was kind of surprised they checked out Roshan, because I don't think Meepo can do it yet. I think he needs the third Meepo and Dragonlance before you can really do Roshan with ease.
Oh, this is a big play.
Yeah, this is great. Great timing for this.
Light Strike Array just randomly. No, they got him. They had the Vit ward down.
I don't know why. They must have had a sentry just to see if there was a ward placed out for the Meepo. And then, because I don't think they knew about that invis. It was picked up in the bottom lane. They didn't have any vision there. So
no.
I think that was just scouting for a ward and ends up finding an invis hero instead.
Well, it's still a very, you know, scary moment. Meepo's getting the farm that he needs, but it does feel like OG are going to have those tools that they need to deal with it, as we do have some movement down here towards the bottom lane. Monkey King is showing up. Fly trying to run out of here, but is going to be under fire and soon to be brought down as well. So a good pickup there for the Monkey King.
They're still getting about as much farm on the Axe. In fact, he's, what, 700 gold ahead of the Slardar. Kind of to be expected because Axe jungles so efficiently. So he'll have his Blink Dagger. So maybe instead of Ana making that rotation down to bottom lane, I didn't really expect Axe to have a 10-minute blink. So I guess the first rotation can come out from him.
Meanwhile, they're going to be taking down these Ancients as well while their Tier 1 tower is under fire. So OG trying to make the best of it. Would you say right now that Empire are the ones that are able to more effectively take the team fights? It's until that Blink Dagger comes up?
Until that Blink Dagger, sure, because Ursa is so strong, but not anymore.
Oh, well, Boundless Strike. They still are able to catch here onto the Slardar as well as the Monkey King, and now Light Strike Rate comes through as well. They're starting to bring Ghost Stick low, and he is going to end up possibly burning down to this Soul Assumption to finish it. Nicely done.
S4 grabs his Blink around the same time here, so, Jarex runs into 2. It won't matter, though.
He should be fine here. They juke the other direction, and still dealing a bit of damage. Meanwhile, Ana will force him back with Light Strike.
Laguna Blade. You can just execute that guy at any point, but holds on to it for now. Maybe that's for the best, with the Meepo actually still lurking around the corner. What I liked about what Empire did is they seemed pretty clear as a team what to do with Meepo strategies, that the 3-man push into the bottom lane, if you force multiple rotations by OG all the way down there, right, it's a lot of distance to get back into where Meepo's usually farming. This whole entire jungle area is usually where Meepo's at, these two areas. So those are the two cores you want to create space for right now. So I think that was a smart little play there by Empire, putting those heroes down to bottom lane and then backing up kind of at the right time, too.
We keep on seeing these movements, too, by OG in towards the Roche pit just to check to see if it's getting taken, because Ursa's playing off the map in those areas that you were just talking about as well. So it feels like right now OG, they're just very cognizant that that's something that could be happening and want to shut down any access that they might have to it. I mean, it works out okay for Empire, though, because they're not actually moving in to go take Roshan. They're trying to wait to win a team fight first, I would imagine.
It is coming at a hefty price, though. They're losing A lot of their outer towers, mid tower and safe lane tower gone by 11.5 minutes, and No-Tail's even going to put a good chunk of damage onto this tier 2, it seems, as nobody from Empire wants to rotate over. They're kind of baiting out FN right now with this fresh Blink Dagger picked up by Chappie, but no one from OG is taking the bait.
And instead, it's a smoke up. This was not scouted, I don't believe, by OG, and well, the wraparound is coming. Chappie looking for that initiation. There is an Invis rune picked up for Ana, though, so we should be fine.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's really unfortunate for them. And now the counterplay comes out. The big Axe Call Global is there as well, though, and they are going to be able to run him down. Nice combination coming in from FN, able to find that kill. And Ghost Stick in the meantime, they're going to try and run him towards the south side. Chappie takes down Fly over here. Ana going for the kill on Amiibo. They are going to be able to connect onto it. So comes out of the Invis in time to use that Laguna Blade. Good thing that he saved it. And it looks like Ana trying to run away again, but you have Ursa up on the high ground. They're chasing him down. Is going to be able to find that kill 4 in the end. Are going to end up dropping across both teams.
Yeah, great use of the global silence there. S4 found a decent initiation, but there was no follow-up. He couldn't get enough spins to execute anybody, and he obviously didn't have Culling Blade because of the global. So he jumps in, but there's no follow-up whatsoever. That said, it's expected. A global silence was used, a very big key for Team Empire in team fights. What you should do as OG now is not let that deter you in any way. You should just revive, go right back in, and start playing aggressive again, because this time around they don't have anything to stop your initiation.
And as if on cue, they're going to move in again. They have Metamorphosis up for No-Tail if he wants to join in these engagements as well. Is there a point where you could start seeing OG think about like trying to rush Roshan if Global Silence was down and maybe you get a little bit more items on these heroes?
Only if they get like a really good smoke push out and they catch like a very key core or even a full out team fight that they win. Only in that case. It's not something that OG are going to try and take unless an opportunity presents itself.
Maybe opportunity presents itself at least a little bit here as Monkey King in trouble is going to fall. No-Tail picks that one up.
That's a decent pickoff.
Yeah.
Does make the Meepo a little bit more scared as he's got mid lane pushing in as well as top. He is going to probably just go for the bottom lane push, knowing that there's so many of OG members occupying the dire jungle. So better for Chappie to play in the bottom half of the map. Just because you have Blink Dagger doesn't mean that you should try and be active yet on the Meepo. It's more like you pick up that Blink Dagger and you occasionally go for a pickoff, but I think they know OG's staying really grouped up. It's one of the big things about preventing Meepo from spiraling out of control is you just got to 5-man sometimes.
Yeah, and they're doing a good job of it. We're going to see trading off towers, but it has really felt like OG have been the one outmaneuvering Empire a little bit around the map. They have only lost this first Tier 1 tower at this stage in the game, and now over here by the Shrine, they've been able to catch on to the Monkey King yet again. Throws out the Boundless Strike. Chappie's in the area, though, looking for the initiation, is able to find onto Ana. There's going to be the Global Silence. Ana's going to drop, but he's going to be back very shortly with that lowered respawn time. Still, though, nothing else to come of it.
Yeah, it's the Lina really is the antithesis to the Global Silence, right? Like such a huge cooldown on this ultimate, and you get a kill on a Lina who's dead for like 10 seconds because of the low respawn time. So time to go right back in. They're going to find the Monkey King thanks to the birds.
Well, he ends up getting taunted at the end of the day after the jump away, but still is going to end up being brought down there.
And probably time to take a Tier 2. So I would probably utilize No-Tail's presence and just try and bulldoze the mid-Tier 2. Kind of opens up the Roshan taking possibility a little bit more for OG as well. There's still that outer shrine that you have to worry about, but if you can start limiting some of these outer structures, that makes it harder and harder for Ursa to feel comfortable taking that Aegis.
Good blink out as well from S4 there. If you do end up losing the Axe, suddenly that is Roshan opened up like you're mentioning for Empire, certainly. And, well, No-Tail still hitting away at this tower. They've got the Boundless Light. Chappie, he's going to jump forward. There's a big old initiation that comes out. S4 is on top of all of them, though. They're going to start taking a ton of damage from the call, but it's not quite enough. The Sunder does pop off there, though, so that's going to end up being the Monkey King dead, but it's already 3 gone for OG. Empire win that one in a big way.
I think No Tail actually made an uncharacteristic mistake in that he tried to back up instead of just fighting. Because he had a Metamorphosis up with the right kind of call. I think he should have just looked to execute one of those Meepos. You could see one of them got away pretty low HP. And if he just fought immediately, maybe he could have gotten that kill. Probably would still die, but it would have made the trade-off a lot better for OG. Probably trading one for 2 or 2 for 2 even. In the end, though, Empire win that fight. They get an Aegis. They have Global Silence coming back up in 10 seconds. This is their opportunity to take the mid-tier 1 tower. I really think they should force this fight, even with the Terrorblade coming back up. They know there's no meta. They know they have their big cooldown spell. So it's balls in their court, and they should try and dunk on OG as many times as possible here. You can ensnare the familiars?
Oh,
Apparently not. All right.
Something new every day there is.
You know that spell is like literally comes from Warcraft 3 as a spell to catch flying units.
Yeah, well, I guess it's not working anymore, but they're Chappie on top of both No Tail as well as Ana. Oh, God, they're in a lot of trouble, though. Chappie dropping very low. They're able to turn it back around. Still going to try and escape from that, but it is going to be the Aegis burn. FN on top of Jerix as well, trying to bring him down. Enraged up and brought down, but Chappie jumps forward again. Everybody caught in the nets, the poof, the death. They're out of there, but you do have Ana who's going to be coming back in just a second, trying to get in with the rest of the team, but isn't going to end up happening. Now Fly in trouble. Chappie jumps forward, gets that kill as well. They are just all over OG. And Empire looking quite strong in this one.
Let's go Team Empire, man. Ooh. That, man, if Empire managed to tie out with OG,
yeah,
they're going to look so good for that, like, probably second place slot in their group. This is pretty good. OG are probably thinking, like, this is why everybody bans it. this is why, guys. This is why.
I mean, Chappie's about to have himself a sheep stick now. Like, he is incredibly farmed and hitting that stride. Level 20 now, so he's getting the extra attack speed, has lifesteal built into himself.
You know what the best part is that I like this item choice by FN. Well thought out. Blink Dagger, he got the initial Morbid Mask right because you always need that as an Ursa. Gets the Blink Dagger. Now he's going to go for the Desolator. It gives them some real bulldozing power, taking these objectives. Because Meepo's going to start controlling the map. He's going to split push really well, and he's going to be a big threat, just being able to get the boom, insta-kill. Whether it's pickoffs or leading the initiation on a team fight. If they can translate that into faster kills with the Ursa having Desolator, as well as taking some of these objectives, and they can close out this game probably about 35 minutes. Because Meepo lineups do have a timeline. You know, they do actually drop off if you start going too late. So Empire has a decent advantage right now. They need to secure that advantage by taking some of the rest of these outer towers. So they need another, like I would say it's a good opportunity for them to smoke gank pretty soon, push out, get another pick off or team fight that lets them take the rest of these outer towers, control the map, and start thinking about ending the game.
I mean, you can see it also with the item selection that you've got. Silencer is going back for the Pipe of Insight here, so you start to go towards those items that are going to help mitigate the outspam that you have on the rest of OG. It allows you to press for high ground more effectively in that way. All in all, this is feeling like Empire have designed a great draft around the Meepo in spite of all of the quote-unquote counters that you have on OG. But that's still a question of finding those right fights. And Axe is always going to be an issue. Terrorblade, if he gets the Metamorphosis off and can just beat away at one of these heroes, it's going to spell a lot of trouble. Although Ana is down to 6 Bloodstone charges as well.
Good time to smoke up, push out. Empire, you're reading my mind. That was a Dire and Radiant scan in the same area. I'm not sure if the Radiant scan picked up something, but it does feel like OG might know. Oh, they might run into No Tail, though.
That's an Invis rune. They didn't end up breaking smoke on him. Now they realize it. They dropped the ward down. Still looking. This could be huge, but now they might be running into the rest of OG. I'm not sure if this is going to be good enough. They are on top of No Tail. And there it is. They've been able to catch him. Global comes out as well. They've been able to take down No Tail. Now going to take down Fly. Empire finding pickoffs and soon to take objectives.
This Silencer Meepo combination has worked out so beautifully. OG, and it's also a problem that OG, they did try and get aggressive when Global Silence is on cooldown, but I think it was a combination of OG didn't try hard enough, and also Empire had some pretty good realization of like the ebb and flow of this game and when to play passive and when to push out and make aggressive smoke plays. Because it's easy for me to sit here as an observer and have all this information and call for smokes at certain times, but it's a lot harder in the fog of war, both literal and figurative, to try and play out and make the correct calls at the right times.
And I think that also it's that same type of thing, thinking about item selection too. And oftentimes people think about like a Meepo going for an Aghanim Scepter. I really like the choices that he's made here. Foregoing it, it's something that we've seen more and more people do with Dragonlance becoming popular. Now immediately going into the Sheepstick with the Blink Dagger as well. It's worked out beautifully, and they've constantly got the answers that they need.
Next great item choice is the Aghanims on the Ursa. You can pop that while you're called by the axe, or say like an Elder Titan Stomp is unavoidable or something like that. You want to make sure that you can always pop this in Rage when you need it. So great choice there. As far as OG goes, though, it's not like they're totally out of the game. Meepo is one of those heroes that a Meepo strategy looks, unstoppable until that one team fight happens,
right,
where they finally are able to blow up the Meepo, and then just this huge wealth of gold and especially experience goes back into the favor of OG, and very quickly the tempo, just like the wind will go out of your sails with the Meepo lineup. So OG are not entirely out of it, though. They are kind of close to being down and out. I think another bad team fight. This could be the right initiation here.
Oh, good force staff away. Well played by No Tail up on the high ground. That's going to keep him alive. A huge call. They're on top of him, able to take down the Meepo. That was so needed, and now Monkey King going to drop as well. OG pick up a huge couple of pickoffs.
Woof. There goes that win we were talking about. OG now take full control. They've already got top lane pushed out. You can push down mid and probably just try and go high ground. Because Meepo has such a long death timer because he gets high level so early on in the game, and it's very abusive. Meepo is level 23.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, is like one misstep. I am very surprised they're not trying to go high ground. Maybe they're giving respect to the Meepo, assuming he has buyback or something like that. But they could have been a lot greedier, honestly.
Maybe it's also, like you were talking about, the same way that one team fight turns it around for OG. You throw that back away with a Meepo buyback, and suddenly all of that ground you've made up is lost in a second.
Maybe, but I think like OG's lineup is one of those lineups you can lose 3 team fights for every one that you win.
Okay.
It's actually more about the Meepo lineup, right? You just cannot afford to lose very many team fights as a Meepo lineup, period.
Well, they're on top of No Tail yet again. The lift up from Jerax, this might actually spell his doom, is going to be caught there. They get the Sunder off, so bringing FN very low, even through the Rage. It's a pretty nice play, and it does look like Ghost Stick has Blink up in a second. No, it's going to be broken. They're on top of him and should be able to, well, maybe find the skill. You have the turnaround that's coming in. There's the Crush. They're able to take down one, but now you got Meepo that showed up. Ana is off on the other side of the engagement, and it looks like they are going to be able to slow No Tail for the moment. Chappie, another instance in Blink in 3, 2, 1, but they get the Crush nonetheless. There's No Tail going to get sheeped, going to get caught, going to get killed, but S4 again shows up. They drop down, not the Meepo, yo. Chappie is going to end up falling to fly at the end of it, but you have Ghost Stick there still trying to get away, but the Grave Chill slows him too much, and they're going to bring him down as well. OG take another team fight, and that one hurts a hell of a lot more for Empire.
I heard that momentary hiccup from you where it was like the Lina didn't Laguna Blade on Meepo, and I was just like, I was with you on that one. I was like, wait, what? You didn't try and pop the Meepo? But hey, it all worked out, right? They got the spins. The Visage came in and finished off that one low HP Meepo that they needed to kill, and boom, OG, they like. Look at the way the net worth graph like dropped so dramatically. You know, it was like 7,500 gold lead. And they had 15,000 experience lead at that point in time, and it's just up and up. 2 team fights, 5,000, probably like 6,000 gold and experience gained for OG over the last 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm. And it's also hitting the stride with Ana now, where you have the Boots of Travel as that third item, which honestly makes her almost a newish type of hero, because you have the low respawn time, and then you can immediately get back in the fight. And I think that we saw a game a little bit earlier. It was the I'm not sure who it was that was playing on the mainstream, but they had the OP Lina suicide to heal up Burning to stay alive.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, you can do the same type of thing in this instance and immediately be back in the engagement because of those bots.
Yeah, we've already seen there was that mid-fight. Empire won it, but it was like they killed the Lina first after the Meepo initiated, and poof, 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 and they did a bunch of AoE damage. And Lina, of course, pretty squishy, and you want to target her first. They focused her down, and she just healed everyone else up. And it was like you could see that effect, and that effect's going to be more potent later on to the game when you're struggling to actually pop these heroes.
Ghost Stick there, S4 waiting for his initiation, but already FN on top of him. Not going to be able to blink in. They take down that axe. The call not going to save his life. Jarex gets a nice stomp off. No Tail has already gone into Metamorphosis. They're turning to fight, able to take down Ghost Stick. Maybe going to be able to find a little bit more as well. Jarex does have another stomp in 2 seconds, but can they make it hit? It looks like it's going to happen. Chappie possibly going to drop again. No Tail aggressively force-staffing forward, and they find the kill. Monkey King going to be the only one that can run away, but King gone as well. No Tail on a spree, and Empire does not have the answer.
They know about Monkey King in the jungle, in the trees, but they're just not even going to worry about. There's better objectives in mind. First and foremost, Roshan, then go from there. 70 seconds on the clock for a Meepo, and you'll probably have I'm not sure if they'll have Metamorphosis long enough to go high ground, but they can at least get some good control of the map with this extra life. So, OG, it seems like there's going to be no, I'm not even going to say miracles, we'll just say upsets. It seems like, at least for this game 1 for Empire, OG struck back really hard in mid-game. They just knew, they could kind of outfight Empire, I think, just because their lineup and the way it looks. They just kind of let Empire make certain initiations and always counter-initiated very nicely. Jarex in particular with that.
Yeah, that's and like the maxed out natural order at this point is we are going to see the Silencer get taken down yet again. That combination of just burning through all of the mana instantly and then afterwards having No Tail on top of him, it's a pretty cool response to the Meepo.
Looks like Anna's going to turn into a right-click hero now. I mean, with the other Titan, I guess there's no need for the Aghanim Scepter against the Meepo, so he's going to go for a Hurricane Pike. That'll give him a little bit more distance against the Meepo as well, and then obviously, Lina becomes decent right-clicker before, and then with the talents, it's even better now. 150 attack range, plus 50 damage. You just want to try and translate this hero into a glass cannon physical damage.
And we've seen how effective the Force Staffs can be, too. Even once the Sheep Stick comes out, you've got all of these saving mechanisms.
Yeah. The 4% from the Fiery Soul stacks, it's really big. You get 40 attack speed from the Fiery Soul stacks, and then you also get another 4% movement speed bonus
per stack as well.
So Lina's just like, bah, 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 a machine gun over there, and is running at max movement speed all the time.
Yeah, that is it got the Lone Druid treatment definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow.
That's going to be hard. Like, Meepo's such an initiation-focused hero, right? But there's only so far Blink Dagger can get you.
Yeah, and maybe it's, again, talking a little bit of just about losing that momentum for a moment. It definitely felt like there was that time where they could have gone, but those 2 pickoffs in the jungle where they just went a little bit too deep ends up suddenly switching back around, and now every damn person has a Force Staff, basically, or Hurricane Pikes as well.
They can still... Empire can still do something here. They still have the big combination, Global Silence and Poof. Even if it's not as effective as it once was, the right initiation can win it for you. Just bursting down the Terrorblade, getting the Scythe on him, and bursting him down. And our Ursa is still decently strong. They really need BKB on him, though. That's the problem, is that OG drafted such a fight lineup. It kind of makes me think of the way EG did with that Lifestealer and Invoker, right? Is that they just had such strong team fight, and no matter how much split push and stuff you have in this current meta, you can't end the game without a team fight. Just period. You have to beat the team in a 5 versus 5 before you can end the game. And it sounds like kind of trite. It sounds like, well, yeah, duh, that's Dota. But honestly, in previous metas, you could actually literally rat your way to victory or something like that. But this is very much a team fight era.
Yeah, which personally I like a little bit more as well.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's very entertaining.
FN pops the Enrage with the Aghanims, is going to be pulled back in a second time, though. Eul Scepter after that happened, and, I mean, it's not going to end up mattering. He's still so squishy once that Enrage is down. So, Another nice pickup, and OG ready to storm high ground. They have literally a 4-staff on every hero on their team now. And if you have like an initiation that comes in from Chappie, they're just going to be kited away. There's not really great answers. Ana hitting from low ground, incredibly far away. There's one 4-staff use, another 4-staff use after the fact by Ghost Stick.
Man, you weren't joking about that.
Yeah.
Visage just picked up his from the courier.
I mean, it's a good answer, right?
Yeah, it's a very good answer. Because they're so dependent on getting the initiation and bursting down a hero. You delay that in any way, and it just cripples the whole entire technique that Empire's trying to employ.
It's 900 range that you get pushed, right? For 4-staffs, is that am I silly here?
900 range? That sounds too far.
600
units? Yeah,
okay.
600 units.
So they can get pushed 3,000 units with the 4-staff. That's what we're talking about here.
Go, go, go. Now I want to see OG line up.
Yeah.
You know, like, 4 heroes decently spaced apart, and they just push one hero, down a lane, and then at the end that hero pushes himself.
That's great. Oh man, the dream. Well, in the meantime, Empire needing to make something happen. They're going to be going in for a pickoff play. They can't take the fights 5-on-5. No Tail is going to be the one that they find. Jump forward, the Hex. There ain't no 4-staffs here, mister. No, wait, never mind, there is. But they're still on top of him and controlling him up. There's going to be the net down as well. He's stuck down there low. He's going to force step up, but still going to drop. And it does look like they're able to control up. Fly for the moment. The Earth Splitter doing a lot of damage to Chappie. Fly jumps forward, but isn't able to find the kill. And now Axe calls, kills one. But is it going to be enough? Ghost Stick still there. They don't quite get the crush. Chappie is back in here. He sent back a couple meepos. Can go in for another round if he wants to. Has the blink and the hex available. Looking for Ana. Is going to be able to jump forward, catch it. The 4-staff actually hit the meepo instead of Lina. So that means that they are going to be able to take her down. And now S4 also in some trouble here. The chase forward by the bear. Empire may have found the answers that they needed. Still being kited away by this 4-staff, but it's not enough. There isn't an answer, and there's no buyback either. Jirax is going to die.
It's going to be a wipe. Oh, gee, what have you done?
Oh my god.
I mean, it's fine because tier 2s are up and stuff, but that could have been just Terrorblade dying, right? It really could have been as simple as that. Like, oh no, they killed our Terrorblade, everyone else will be fine. But OG kind of stuck around. They thought oh, maybe we can still fight this. The Axe went back in, killed the Monkey King. That kind of led some of the other OG members to try and stick around and see if they can fight it out. But Chappie, that initial fight, most of his meepos went down about half HP. He was very good at cycling them back to base before going for that second round of aggression behind that top tier 2 tower.
And the other thing is that part of the reason it's working is because he got that level 25 400 health.
Yeah.
Like we saw that a couple of those meeples got quite low. That would have been a kill, I think, in the previous engagements. But so many great talents on that hero, and he's also been able to build back in towards a Scotty. What do you think is the next big item for him? Some people go like the E-Blade. I've seen Heart a long time ago.
Not sure. Not sure if Ethereal Blade. Maybe. Yeah, probably Ethereal Blade. I was just trying to think it out if there was any reason you would get more stats over the potential burst damage. But it's that was a dream scenario. They need to do that every single time, which is jump on the Terrorblade, burst him down. So then when the rest of the enemy team that OG, they file in, they try and deal with this meepo, but after the Terrorblade's already dead, they're going to run out of firepower at this point just because the meepo is so tanky.
Yeah.
And they need sustained damage at that point, which is obviously where Terrorblade is supposed to fit in. So Empire going to continually try and catch him out as much as possible. They also have to fear that eventually Ana will turn into a right-click damage dealer, though right now he is trying to work on a Lincoln Sphere next item to deal with the Blink Scythe of Ice from the meepo.
Yeah, that makes sense. You need to make sure that happens. I like the movement around Chappie again, trying to finish off these towers whenever possible. I'm also curious if we're eventually going to see Empire going back for the bots on him to allow him to go for those, constant split push. It's a scary against the lineup that OG has because of all their pressure. Does the game plan change that much for OG the way they want to try and take it? Do they still keep on going for 5-on-5 engagements?
Yeah. I don't think this game changes too much for them. It's kind of like the resilience. You just need to have some mental resilience and say, okay, just because we lost this team fight doesn't change anything. right? It's just like we were talking about before. They won a team fight off of global silence. That doesn't change anything. You don't revive and then play scared because you lost a fight. You need to stay mentally strong and just go back out there and win the next one. So I don't think anything really changes for them. Probably just protect No-Tail in his positioning a little bit more. If No-Tail's going to be farming, you remember that like half circle I was talking about earlier? Push out some of your heroes so that if a smoke comes in.
Oh, Monkey King there is going to be caught. What
was he doing there?
Well, he was in the trees, and then he laid down a ward, and then they took it out. That's one of the nice nerfs that Monkey King did get was the reduced vision at nighttime, which I think was much needed. And now a smoke play.
Chappie.
Oh, he's going to get out there, at least with that one. And we'll see if anybody else from Empire is going to get caught. Ghost Stick, King R, they're there to break the smoke.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't know why King R's outside the base.
Oh, God, they're going to jump on a Chappie, though. They've got him there. Counterplay comes out, but it's not looking like it's going to be enough. Chappie's about to half HP. Does look like he's going to be able to run away from him for the moment. FN still does have Enrage if they want to use it. There's the Earth Splitter going through. Not quite taking him down as of yet. Monkey King is going to fall, even though Wukong's command is out there. Another blink forward. They've caught him. They're going to be able to take down the Visage. Looking to try and finish off No-Tail, but Chappie dropping very low is going to die. Buys back immediately, as does the Slardar, and No-Tail still standing strong. Is going to try and get out. Force Staff! They're able to save him a second Force Staff! Oh, the value!
Oh my God, these Force Staffs are just hilarious. Jerix is going to be able to TP away too. I mean, when they initially went for S4, and that was also, I think, a mistake inherently by Empire, but they got jumped on, they popped Global Silence, and they committed a lot to try and chase down S4. S4 got go-go gadgeted the hell out of there, It was just like 3 Force Staffs in a row, just like poof, 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 and he was so far away. And there was also a little bit of mismicro there from Chappie. He brought a low HP Meepo, and that's the end of the game, I think.
Oh, no, Chappie.
Maybe.
Well, turning, trying to get out of there. The battle hunger is on him,
no,
but can they get it? They're so low. Ah, they got him. And yeah, that one should potentially be it. 120 seconds, and it all started because they were trying to kill the Visage Familiar, and they couldn't quite get it. You know what they call that, right?
What?
Jebaited.
Jebaited. Kappa outdated, you've been jebaited. All right, well, Roshan time and time to end the game for OG. I have to say, like, OG, Lyrical, I've casted a lot of Tier 2 and Tier 3 teams in my time. And I'm not saying that Empire is Tier 2 or Tier 3, but I do notice a similar storyline of some of these teams that are below the cusp of the skill level that we're normally looking at. And what always happens, almost always, is that they actually look fine in the first 10 to 15 minutes. And this happened here. Empire looked great for the first 20 minutes with this meatball lineup. But as the game went later, it felt like, they made some mistakes. Maybe it's pressure. Maybe it's they're dealing with some situations that they're not normally used to. A lot of things, right? Because you have a lot of experience playing the laning phase out. But as you start going later into the game, it does become quite different.
Well, there's the global use. They're trying to get whatever they can. BKB popped for FN, and they are going to be able to control the Lina for the moment, as it also looks like they're starting to bring down No-Tail. They get a Sunder off. A nice jump. S4 on top of them, though, and the huge deeps come out from Jerix, and GG going to be called. OG put on quite a performance here with all their Force Staffs.
Yeah, they certainly did. The point of what I was saying earlier was just that it's very clear that Empire has less experience than OG, and I think that ultimately makes the difference between this team being able to close out this Meepo game and being able to take game 1 against OG and them failing to do so, kind of tripping up and letting OG find that opening, find that mistake that was made and push it for the most. So still impressive stuff by Empire. I still think that other teams should look at this and go, okay, I agree that Meepo is a 1-2 ban against Empire. I think there's just like certain comfort picks that you should not let some of these teams have, and Empire with Meepo is definitely one of them.
Yeah, totally. And I think that it's worth bearing in mind that this was against OG, a team undefeated and one of the best ones of the qualifiers, or rather the group stages so far. So still a lot of action to come. We've got game number 2 right around the corner, OG versus Team Empire, here on the second stream for the DAC qualifiers. Group A going to continue right after this.